Today is Tuesday, March the 3rd, 2026. The time is 6 o'clock p.m. I'm calling the meeting to order, and I ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Commissioner Ackrey?
Here.
Commissioner Downing?
Here.
Commissioner Smith? Here. Commissioner Tebby? Mayor Washington?
Here.
We have our quorum and are duly qualified to conduct business.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Without objection, I would like to add to the agenda the ordinance for the second reading. We had the first reading on Saturday. Without objection, it's added to the agenda. And without objection, we'll go into legislative this time to read the ordinance. Should take a vote to go into legislative?
Correct, yeah. Motion to suspend the rules and go into a legislative session.
Motion to suspend the rules to go into legislative session.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Downing.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Ackrey. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. With that, we are now in the legislative session. Will the clerk please read the second reading of the ordinance?
An ordinance vacating a public rights-of-way located on the former 13th Street and former 14th Street and located on land adjacent to Neve Street within the former Duro Bag property site.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions on that? May I have a motion to approve the ordinance?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Ackrey, second by Commissioner Downing. Any discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Ackrey?
Aye.
Commissioner Downing?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Mayor Washington?
Aye. Okay, the ordinance is now, the proposed ordinance is now law. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Without objection, we'll go back now into the caucus meeting. And with that, Madam City Manager, do we have any presentations? No presentations. City Manager report, please.
Good evening. I have just one update for you tonight, and that's on the Duveneck House project. As you all know, the city holds conservatorship for the Duveneck House, and we have some grant funding towards improvements. Last night, we had several representatives from arts organization and a couple East Side residents that met to discuss the potential long-term vision for the property. So anything that happens with that property, we'll have to take that back to the court for approval. So last night was just a step in that direction of coming up with a long-term plan. And that's where that project stands, and that's all I had, Mayor.
Thank you. Seemed like there was a lot of interest in that, in the House.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Any questions for the manager? Seeing none. Move on to the next items for consideration. Administrative Department Director Wetzel.
Good evening. I have just one item for you this evening. It is a request for an order authorizing mayor to execute an additional 1-month contract extension with JS Held for owner's agent services related to Covington Central Riverfront development. We are currently in the process of reviewing responses to an RFP for a 2-year contract for owner's agent services, and so this will just carry us through until we can complete that process and bring a contract back to commission for approval.
Any questions for Director Wetzel? Okay. Commissioner Downing?
Is there any risk, given that we're currently going through another contract process, an RFP process, is there any risk of us needing to do another extension in order to meet that timeline?
In this order, I included an optional 1-month extension beyond this 1 month without having to come back and ask again. So hopefully that's okay with all of you.
I guess what's the likelihood, do you think, that we're going to have to, the idea of paying, here's the impetus for the question, the idea of paying for the 1-month service and then the idea of paying for another 1-month service and then the idea of paying for a potential 2-year service. We've got a lot of things going on, and so as we're trying to watch the budget, I'm just trying to think through, okay, timelines, and are we going to be able to get that RFP up here before we have to have too many extensions?
Yes, the intention is we'll be able to act expeditiously. We're doing interviews this week.
Fantastic.
Any other questions for the director? Without objection, consent? Consent. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next up, Administration Department, Director Bales.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Tonight I'm bringing an order request for the purchase of a prefabricated restroom for Barb Cook Park in the amount of $118,000 to be paid from the Community Development Block Grant funding. The structure will be constructed in LaGrange, Kentucky. Mr. Schwenke and I have visited the site. It's a highly reputable company. The purchase of the structure will be $93,000, and the remainder will go toward expenditures for us to offload and set the structure and run utilities.
Commissioner Ackrey?
And obviously, when you say us, you mean the city will be hooking it up?
Public Works.
Yes.
Commissioner Downing?
What is the life cycle for products like these?
It'd be 2 to 3 decades, but other than that, it would be conjecture.
So I have no issue with this. I have no issue with the price given the construction costs we would have to do if we had to put up our own. But the one thing that I'm mentally, as I saw this on the agenda, trying to think through replacement costs for things of this nature. So if we're thinking this is going to last 2-3 decades, great. I have no issue. But that's not been my experience with prefabricated things of that nature. And so I wanted to make sure that we were leaning into your expertise and we were making an educated decision in that regard.
I think that's conservative. Boone County has utilized this company also for a concession stand, and they're reputable. They have a very good product. That's why we wanted to visit on site.
Thank you. I appreciate that additional information. Appreciate it.
Director, what made you spearhead this project?
Well, came up with very close to Barb Cook back in the day. This is a highly utilized park for basketball, playground, old people hockey. Sorry. It's just highly used. We issue through Parks and Rec a lot of permits on weekends. There's no restroom even within blocks of the park. So, my thought was it's something that's highly needed.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I think that's as we're seeing the more and more people utilize that park, and they're not from the neighborhood where they could just run home real quick to use the restroom. So, something we're trying to expand our recreation capabilities. So, without any other questions, without objection, consent? Consent to this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Economic Development, Mr. West.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. What we have tonight is an order authorizing the purchase of 438 Scott Boulevard from the Kentucky Community and Technical College System. Just to walk you through it a little bit. This is where they have had their nursing and massage therapy program up until December. It's a 12,300 square foot building on 3 floors plus a partially finished basement. It's a highly visible location at the intersection of 2 state routes. It's also been a historic icon in Covington for a number of years. When I first moved here in '92, this is where Bob Porter's furniture store, Murtax, was located. When the community college went in, they did a number of major renovations, including relatively new mechanical systems, new plumbing, new electrical, all new LED lighting, new doors, and fire alarm systems, and other systems in that. They have declared the building to be surplus and offered it up to the city prior to going out on the RFP process. They can transfer from one government entity to another for the appraised price and avoid the RFP process. The advantage to us is that we would then be able to help determine how that building would be used. And I'll get to that in just a minute. It did appraise at $1.6 million. We offered $1.45 million. That was accepted. And we presented this to the Covington Economic Development Authority back in December. And they recommended the use of TIF funds to acquire the building. Now, what the intention of it is to acquire the building and then market it to an office developer. As you all are aware, the Class A vacancy rate in Covington is very low, and we would use this to create or attract jobs and increase payroll tax revenue. What we would seek from a developer in a proposal would be to recover the acquisition costs plus any carrying costs we might have between the time we close on it and the time we then close with the developer. We've been working very closely with Frank and his team to make sure that these closings happen as quickly as possible. In fact, we've already drafted an RFP and have it ready to post just as soon as we close. We want to try to cut down on the amount of costs to the city through this. I will tell you this, there's a lot of local developer interest in it. We've walked 3 local office developers through the building. All 3 of them have expressed an interest. 2 of them have tenants in mind. We've also walked through another organization here in town that's looking to relocate. They have an interest also in possibly purchasing it and moving their operation there. So there's quite a bit of interest in this. As I mentioned, we want to get the RFP out as soon as possible with a relatively short time frame to respond. We've already completed all of the due diligence on this building. We've had it inspected. We've had a termite inspection. They've made a number of changes. They've made a number of steps forward with regard, for example, an additional termite treatment, and they've serviced the elevator so that it will be completely certified by the time the closing happens. We would be selling it as is, and we have also worked out a letter of intent with the hotel garage to be able to provide whoever buys this with the opportunity to have weekday monthly parking in the hotel garage for employees that would be in that building. So based on all of that, staff's recommending approval of the purchase of this. I will add that, and I hope it was probably intended, but I want to make it very clear, the idea is that use the TIF funds to purchase it, and then once we sell it, that money would go back in to the TIF fund.
Vice Mayor Smith?
Just really quick, and I think you did a great job of articulating almost everything that you could. The one question we often get is, why are we involved in these transactions? Even why did we purchase the CCR site? Those sorts of things. And I really want to make sure it's clear to the public why we do these things. And I don't think there's anyone better situated than you to be able to just very, I guess, quickly, if you can, describe why we're doing this. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, this building is located in a mixed-use zone within the city. So if the community college put it out on the market for an RFP, they would be obligated to take basically the highest responsible bidder for that. We have no idea what that buyer might want to use the building for. It could become apartments with ground floor retail, which might be fine otherwise, but we're short on office space, and our department tries to attract jobs and increase payroll taxes, which pay the bills throughout the rest of the city for fire, police, public works. So to try to attract more payroll tax to the city, we want to market this as an office building.
Thank you very much, and go Cats.
Did I answer your question?
You did.
Go Big Blue.
Yeah, thank you.
Commissioner Acri?
Yeah, Director West, do you know, understanding the RFP process and all that, but let's say we get a tenant that wants to buy the building, how long do you think before we would start seeing businesses in there where we would start getting tax revenue.
Yeah. A lot of that would depend on how much renovation would need to be made to the building to accommodate that specific tenant. The first 2 floors of the building are relatively open. You can kind of see there's some temporary walls. This is on the first floor, the top photo on the right there. Those temporary walls come down. You've got open office space on both of those bays on the front of it. It's similar on the second floor, not quite as open, but very large spaces. So if someone's looking for a space like that, it could be a relatively quick transition. If they want more extensive renovations, that will just depend on the construction period. But our intent is we want to get this thing sold before I leave here and get somebody started on it before I leave here.
Any other questions for the director? Seeing none? Without objection, consent? Consent it is. Thank you, Director.
Thank you all.
Next up, Mr. Swanky, Assistant Director of Public Works. Welcome, Brad. Is this your
evening,
first
Mayor.
time?
Yes.
Well, we'll
Prepare for questions.
yes, we're
So Public Works were requesting agreement with Verdantis, which it used to be CT Consultants, which we use for an engineering firm, and they changed their name. So we're just wanting to update and have an agreement with them so we can use them on projects, road projects, riverfront common stuff. Yeah, just more or less they just changed their name.
Any questions for Brad, Mr. Swanky?
I feel like I need one.
Okay. Seeing none, without objection, consent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next up, Human Resources, Director Lewis.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I have one item for your consideration this evening. Staff requests an order authorizing the mayor to execute the collective bargaining agreement with ASME Local 237, effective July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. The agreement was ratified by the ASME membership earlier today, March 3rd. I'd like to take a moment to thank those involved in the negotiation process on behalf of the city. Attorney Joe Scholler, partner with Frost Brown Todd, City Solicitor Frank Schultz, Finance Director Brianna Gaffney, Public Works Director Bill Mattioli, and City Manager Sharmali Reddy. And on behalf of ASME Local 237, Union President Daniel Chumley, Vice President Ben Brumall, Treasurer Mark Granson, Secretary Susan Stratlatter, and Board members Kyle Hodge and Mikhail Conrad. We appreciate the collaborative work that went into reaching this agreement, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for the director? Seeing none, without objection, consent. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Fire Department. Chief. The chief's, yeah. The chief. It does look like his first time. He's looking so stealth now. I mean, I think he's trying to be like Weeholter in the back.
The shirt actually fits.
The shirt fits? Is that what it is? It's like, all right. Go ahead,
My
Chief.
wife keeps yelling at me for looking sloppy, so.
There you go. You're on TV, man, right?
Good evening. I have a order to accept to purchase a 2009 Pierce tractor-drawn ladder truck from St. Matthews Fire Protection District. I'd like to briefly explain where we stand with our ladder truck fleet and why we're asking for this order to purchase a 2009 ladder truck. Our 1994 Seagrave ladder truck requires about $30,000 currently just to return it to service. The engine has already been rebuilt twice, and at 32 years old, it has significant mechanical history. We are concerned whether it makes sense to continue investing in this apparatus at this age or not. Our current frontline aerial truck, which is a 2004, which is housed Truck 7 in Latonia, has also become increasingly expensive to maintain. Over the past 2 years alone, we spent approximately $90,000 to keep it operational. If that trend continues, we can reasonably expect over the next 4 years to about spend around $180,000 to maintain it, to keep it on the street for daily operation. We did order a new truck 7, and we appreciate that and thank you very much. But unfortunately, it has a 4-year lead time that we can't control. The proposed solution is this: to purchase a 2009 ladder truck for $310,000. Doing so allows us to avoid putting $30,000 into a 30-year-old apparatus and transitioning our 2004 ladder truck into reserve status. The hopes is this should reduce it, or will reduce its daily use, lower wear and tear, and extend its life, significantly reducing ongoing maintenance cost. So that is our recommendation to invest $310,000 in this used ladder truck. It should strengthen our aerial fleet and put us more in line with the shop's 10-year FET-FAL plan.
Commissioner Downing.
For the general public's knowledge, can you remind us what the cost of a new truck is?
The one we just, well, it really hasn't technically 100%, we're waiting on Atlantic, was $2.2 million.
And so this price would be a veritable steal.
Yeah, very much so. And you don't come in, this is locally, so we were able to go look at it. It has reasonable hours on it. It's in great shape, especially compared to our 1994 that's rusting pretty well. These purchases are not, you don't see them every day.
So I guess 2 follow-ups. One, I'd be interested to know like what we'll be doing with the 94 once this purchase is made. And then the other is, as we approach this year's budget cycle, if you could remind the body what the ages are of the vehicles that are kind of under you all, and then that way we can be looking at these kinds of expenditures as we're kind of looking out the next couple of years.
Absolutely. It's, I mean, I have all that data. That's easy.
Yeah, I know you do. It's,
and it's, what was your first one?
the first one is what we're going to be doing with the 94.
Yeah, so that's going to be kind of up to Steve at the shop, but I would assume he will put it on Gov Deals to sell it. And then that, from what I understand, that money goes back into FET-FAL for other fleet purchases. And what its value is, not very much, but I don't know.
Commissioner Eckery.
Chief, can you explain why you use tiller trucks versus straight ladder? Because I've had that question several times asked to me.
Yes, and it's, I saw that after the last, when we purchased the new one. We do use tiller trucks. This will be, currently truck 7 is a Quint, which is a straight truck. This will move us to 2 tractor drawn. That makes things a lot easier. Training wise, you have 2 very close trucks that operate the same. We can interchange equipment. It will be in very similar locations between the 2 trucks. Right now, they are completely set up differently. The other big reason is the streets. You know, as these streets were made for horse and carriages, a lot of them, not for, 50, 60 foot long fire trucks, which is what the straight truck is. There's a lot of bridges and some of the streets that the current truck 7 just can't get down. So they have to strategically operate through the city so they can get to certain places. And there's some places that just can't get to. With the tractor drawn, if pretty well we can get a pumper there, we can get that ladder truck there. So, and the big thing is these ladder trucks carry ground ladders that can reach to a 3rd story window, where our pumpers, can only reach to a 2nd story. So that is why it's important to get these ladder trucks, within a reasonable distance of the house, not only for the ladder on top of the vehicle, but the ladders that it carries.
Vice Mayor Smith.
Just really quick, how old did you say the current truck is?
1994. It's the oldest in the fleet. The next one is a 1996.
I was going to make a joke about it's close to me in age, and I think there's a lot of good years left, but I don't think that I can make that here. That was all. Thank you.
Just a couple of things. So to the public, when we're saying we're looking at the purchase of this new this used truck, new to us, is going to go to, it's going to be our new truck 7, is that correct?
So that hasn't been 100% decided. That's again, it's kind of Steve, the fleet manager. But I would say yes. That is to cut down on our maintenance cost of our 2004 vehicle.
Okay, and for the listening public, Truck 7 is our Latonia truck. So for people that are listening at home. And also the tiller, because people don't maybe not realize that. That's the firefighter in the back that's
Yes.
steering. That's correct. So just to explain to people at home what we're doing here.
And typically also our tiller trucks are cheaper to maintain because it's more or less a tractor trailer pulling a trailer. Or a truck pulling a trailer, where the straight truck has a pump, there's more mechanical things with it to go wrong. The Quint has definitely cost us more to maintain over its life than our typical tractor drones.
Any other questions about that? Okay, without objection, consent? Thank you, Chief.
Yes, thank you all.
Next up, Assistant Director of Neighborhood Services, Walt Mace.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Excuse me. I have an order asking for city staff to have authorization to initiate foreclosure actions on 6 properties as part of our city housing initiative. I would add, before you consider it, since this AIR was prepared, one of the properties actually was foreclosed on by another party, and went to the Master Commissioner sale, and actually Honk has purchased 208 East 33rd, so we won't have to do anything with that.
So we're striking that one.
Yes, sir.
Any questions for Mr. Mace? Okay. Without objection, consent? Thank you, sir. Okay, looking at the agenda items, you'll see several appointees for the boards. Without objection, those can move to consent. And then now we have a second reading, but it won't be read today because this is caucus. It'll go for next week. Any questions on the second reading? None. We encourage the general public to look at our website, read about the ordinance that is proposed. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the elected body. Next order of business, commissioners' discussion items. Any commissioner would like to bring anything up? Seeing none, commissioner comments. Vice Mayor Smith.
I'll be brief. I know that there's probably going to be a lot of folks thanked after the controlled demo that we had this weekend, but very quick thank you to our first responders, Public Works, both here in Covington and obviously in Newport and Cincinnati. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A very special shout out to Patrick Averbeck. I don't know that you all know that I had a cut on the top of my foot, hard to walk in heels. Long story short, if it weren't for Patrick, I don't think that I actually would have hobbled over to see this event. So I have to say thank you to him. Thank you to our staff for this weekend. I know that we spent a lot of time kind of going through our priorities. And the last thing that I'll say is it is officially Women's History Month. And I've not done this before, but I always try to give folks shout outs that deserve them. Elizabeth Wetzel, I believe that you were just recognized last month. And I actually intended to tell you, congratulations on this, but you were named one of the people to watch by Cincinnati.com for your work for our city. So I just want to recognize you and say thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Commissioner Smith. I have two comments. One, the bridge implosion was quite fun to watch. Our governor was up here. Many of our staff members were there. I just want to tip of the hat to Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. I think they did a phenomenal job putting this together and directing resources, as Vice Mayor Smith said, to all the public service entities involved on both sides of the river, Newport and Covington. It was truly, it was a cold day, but it was a good day in our community. as the bridge comes down, there's a lot of hope that there'll be a lot of things rising with the bridge coming down. So thank you, Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, for doing that. Also, before I sat down here, I got a little news flash that, these 6 military persons that were killed in Iran during this conflict were most likely from Fort Knox. So, my thoughts and prayers and the city's thoughts and prayers are with our Kentucky families as we're trying to figure out what's going on in our world and know that this has real effects on real people, even back here in Kentucky. So we'll be thinking about our families here and thinking about our loved ones that are serving abroad. And without any other business, we are adjourned. Thanks.